two right there.
One left.
He's coming down.
Just 10 seconds to go.
I'm dead, dude.
If he doesn't get
What is going on, guys? It's Terra, and welcome to a brand new series I'm going to be starting on the NGAGE Network channel I like to call Terra Tactics. This series is going to cover a lot of the tips and strategies that I run myself in the Crucible, and I'm going to be kind of sharing it with you guys and some of the kind of the mindset I have when I'm playing Crucible. I'm going to be releasing videos for Terra Tactics, pretty much to show off like the decisions I make in the Crucible. Maybe you can take my decisions or take my mindset and implement it into your own play style and see if you can improve your game in the Crucible. Now, if you already are an experienced player, then keep playing the way you play. Like, I'm not going to try telling you how to play. The series isn't going to try changing the way the good or skilled players play. Like, if you're a skilled player and you know you're a skilled player, then keep playing the way you play. The great thing about Destiny is that it lets you play however you want to. But these tips are going to be catered more towards people that aren't entirely sure on how to do some stuff, basic map awareness and other stuff like that. So I wanted to start off the first episode of Terra Tactics with how can you go flawless in the Trials of Osiris. As we know, Trials of Osiris is Destiny's highest tier of PvP available. It appears every weekend. It's elimination playlist, so you only get one life with revives unless you played during the Festival of Lost where there were no revives. In the background, you're going to be watching various Trials of Osiris clips I've collected throughout the couple weeks since Year 3 began. You're going to see some, Last Exit trials as well as Floating Gardens and a sprinkle of a little bit of the Festival of the Lost hardcore trials, I like to call it. That really spooky one that I didn't really enjoy too much, but I think that'll be saved for a different video. Let me put the scenario in your head. You got your team of 3 friends, you're all just basic Crucible players and you're jumping into the match. So, what's the first thing that you can implement to your game to help your team go flawless in Trials of Osiris? The first thing that we're going to talk about is communication. Communication, this is number 1 because it is the most important thing in Trials of Osiris. No matter what it is, you communicate to it. If you're going to pull away from your team to pick up special ammo, tell your teammates. Say, hey, I'm picking up the special ammo, you're by yourself. Maybe he's sniping a doorway, you're next to him, but then all of a sudden you want to get some special ammo. Tell him, I'm going to pick up special ammo, you're by yourself. Or, maybe if you see someone run by a doorway, hey, I just saw a guy in that doorway. Anything, communication. There's no such thing as too much communication. There is a point in time where if too many people are talking at the same time, it can kind of throw people off. However, constantly, letting your teammates know what's happening, giving them information, just feeding each other information is the most crucial thing in Trials of Osiris. There are people that can play silent. Usually those people, you'll see teams that play completely silently, but those teams are usually just good in and of itself. They have really good chemistry and they're usually friends that have been playing for a while. So if you are highly skilled and you don't need to communicate with your team, chances are that you're all just really good, competent players that have played with each other a lot. And I'd say communication is so important for Destiny, especially the Trials of Osiris. Anything, whether it be hearing a supers are the most important. I'm not saying saying that there's an enemy super. Popping your own super is so important to communicate to your team, because if you're playing and you hear someone pop hammers and no one says anything, you don't know if it's enemy hammers or your hammers. So it's really important to communicate stuff like that, like, hey, I just popped my super, I'm out here, or this guy over here just popped a super on left side. Just communicate to your team as much as possible. You're gonna in the gameplay, you can kind of hear the audio. I'm always talking to my teammates, we're always talking about what's going on. I'm always letting them know what's happening at all times so that I can keep them informed, so that they are the most prepared they could possibly be to enter any engagement. The number 2 most important thing when trying to go flawless in the Trials of Osiris is map awareness. Now, map awareness, this kind of goes in hand with playing the game. You can't just jump into Trials for the very first time and expect to just beast, especially if you've never really played Destiny's Crucible that much. Knowing the maps is very important because you can learn the sight lines, the sniper lanes. Certain maps have more sniper lanes than others. Certain maps cater to shotguns. Well, most maps cater to shotguns. And just having a general idea of what doors can people come out of. And a lot of the doors in Destiny are operable, so they open up and they close, which kind of sucks, but that's all right. You kind of got to deal with it. So, you know, keeping an eye on what doors people will come through, keeping an eye on where enemies are. If you see 2 enemies, you know, at one side of the map, chances are the third one is, you know, probably sticking with them. People really have a sheep mentality. So if you see 2 guys in one area, the map awareness, you use map awareness to be like, hey, the third guy's probably there. But if, you know, don't assume, like, if you see 2 people standing at the end of the hall, don't assume the third guy's there. Kind of like have it in the back of your mind. That's what I think. If I see 2 people at the end of the hall, I'm like, okay, the third guy most likely is with them, but I'm gonna keep an eye on my radar to make sure that he's not trying to flank us. And that goes hand in hand with the map awareness, is looking at your radar. Always, always, always be looking at your radar as much as possible. It is so important. I understand that in the new Trials of Osiris, or just this temporary one that they have where there's no radar at all, that's kind of, you know, the whole statement of using your radar is a little moot because there is no radar. I don't really like that Trials of Osiris. I feel like Destiny, kind of the radar complements Destiny. It's just part of it. You know, the radar is really just grown on Destiny and what it is, and really contributes to the formula of what PvP is. So I feel like without a radar, Destiny just isn't really Destiny, and it caters to a lot of camping, a lot more camping plays, because, you know, you can kind of sit, and there's a lot of nooks and crannies in the map, so you can just sit there with a shotgun waiting for people. Keeping an eye on where your team is also important for map awareness. You know, if you see a teammate looking down a doorway, don't look down the same doorway as your teammate. He's already got it covered. If you're both double sniping on doorway, then sure, that's fine depending on the scenario. However, if you both have grasp from a locks or any primary, and you're both watching down a hallway, watch his back, or watch the flank, or watch the side door, or try to get another angle that exposes another side of the map. Don't look down the same doorway as a teammate, because it's unnecessary. Unless you know 100% you're about to team shot a guy, which team shotting is also very important. If you know 100% you're going to be team shotting a guy, then that's different. You know there's a guy around that corner, you both are going to double team him. But if your teammate's just watching down a hallway to make sure no one's there, don't watch that same hallway. Watch his back, watch the right door, or watch the flank. Keep an eye on your radar, because your teammate more than likely is aiming down sights. So if you're aiming down sights, he obviously cannot see his radar, so you're going to keep an eye on the radar for him and call people out. Another part of map awareness is noises, and there's not much really you can do here for noises. The only thing I'd really say is the door is opening. You can hear doors opening. It's really, really faint, but you can hear it, and especially maps like Cauldron and Black Shield, those are the ones that come to mind. You can really hear, you know, doors opening, closing, and I think that's important. If you hear a door opening, close, and you know you didn't hear, none of your teammates are near your door, then you know that was an enemy. If you have a headset on, you can more than likely tell that someone just came out of that door. Just listening, using your audio as much as you can, hearing double jumps, listening for double jumps, being really just aware and acute to everything that's going on around you is so important. And you know, and it all goes into map awareness. Map awareness in and of itself is very important. It's right up there with communication. I still think communication is on top, but I think map awareness is right there with it, with communication. The next one is going to be team shotting. I brought this up earlier. Team shotting is kind of the key to victory. This mainly goes for primary gun battles. This does not go for special weapon, because usually all special weapons kill people in one shot. But team shotting is super, super important if you're fighting a good team. If you're sticking together, let's say you're fighting a really, you know, obviously you're fighting players that are better than you. So if you're fighting players that are better than you, chances of you winning a primary gunfight are slim to none. You know that. You know the guy's better than you. He's going to beat you every time. So, you know, collaborate with your team. Collaborate with your team. Say, hey, so-and-so just went left. Come help me team shot him. So when he rounds that corner, instead of it just being a one-on-one gunfight, now you got a teammate next to you to team shot him. Now you both are doing damage to him. He is going to be melted. He won't have a chance to react. He won't even have a chance to go back around the corner he came from, because team shotting melts people, and it's so important. For the Floating Gardens map, there was that one by Statue, and both teams rushed Statue. To win that map, you had to team shot people. If you didn't have grenades, you had to team shot. It was either wombo combo, grenades, or team shotting. That's what won. The snipers didn't even stand a chance, because the pulse rifles just dominated the snipers. The next one is going to be equipment. I'm actually going to keep equipment with the team shotting. mainly because equipment goes with your weapons and as well as your grenades. Team shotting isn't just shooting your gun. Team shotting is just doing damage in any way, shape, or form. So if you hit a guy with an axiom bolt grenade or any type of grenade at all and your teammate shoots him, that is team shotting. You both did damage on the guy at the same time. Grenades are so important in Trials of Osiris. Grenades are game changers. If you have a guy that's around the corner, an enemy around the corner, and you throw a lightning grenade, it's gonna hit him. He is now absolute. One lightning grenade proc on someone turns them to absolute. You can 2-burst them with any pulse rifle. Axiom bolts chase people out of cover. Fusion grenades, all sticky grenades, stick to people and one-shot them with their incredibly overpowered aim assist on the sticky grenades. I really feel like it needs to be toned down. The sticky grenades are extremely useful. All AoE grenades are extremely useful. The only ones the weakest grenades are the solar grenade, vortex, as well as pulse. All the other ones are usable. Even flashbang, really usable. I don't know why you'd ever use flashbang over lightning grenade though, but I'm just saying, it's usable. The suppressor grenade, it cancels out supers. That's gigantic, especially in Trials of Osiris. We got blade dancers running around. People love to run blade dancer. People love to run a stormcaller, stuff like that. So suppressor grenades are extremely helpful. All the classes in the game have an effective grenade. The trip mine for the gunslinger may not be what it used to be, but it is, it's not bad. The incendiary grenade is great. Just bounce it off the ground in front of you because it has such a high bounce. Do some damage on a guy. You get him burning, and then a teammate can, finish him off with a few bullets. Grenades are extremely useful. They should be used to the best of their ability. Don't waste your grenades. They are so important in Trials of Osiris. It really can determine the outcome of a match. Now this last one is a little bit more of my opinion. This could be up for debate, but this is something that I learned myself. Knowing your enemy. I think knowing your enemy is far more than just inspecting them before the game, because everyone does that. Everyone inspects the enemy team before they play to call out what they have, and that's important. It's important to know what you're fighting against. If you see 3 snipers, you're not really going to be effective in long-range gun battles. Don't challenge those long-range gun battles if you have a Matador and they have snipers. If you see 3 Juggernaut Titans with shotguns, you're in for a bad time. 3 of any subclass is awful to fight against, but you can fight against anything if you just communicate and have map awareness. So once you know your enemy's class, which everyone should, you always should inspect your enemies. What I'm talking about knowing your enemy is kind of knowing how they play, and you won't truly see that until a couple rounds in Trials of Osiris. You'll see, I'm actually going to play a very specific clip right here. I did lose this round. It was a 1v3 clutch, and my Matador did choke on me at the last second. The guy took like no damage. But see how I'm sitting next to this door. When I run out, I know he's chasing me. I know he's chasing me because the way these guys are playing in the rounds prior, they were very reckless, very careless. I took note of that. I took note that they pushed a lot when they really shouldn't have. So I baited him into this doorway, and I play vertical on him. So I play vertical, and I throw my sticky grenade to stick him because I knew he would be sliding around that corner. I knew he'd be coming around. I can't say I was expecting 2, but I was expecting one of them to come around the corner. I had the grenade ready. I stuck him, and then I was ready to kill the second guy, but my Matador obviously failed me, which kind of, made me a little salty. But that's all right, that's a really good example of knowing your enemy. I knew he was gonna do that. I was 100% expecting him to push me. If I was versing, some more passive pulse rifle sniper players, I would not have pulled that move. I would not have played vertical. I would have just straight up ran away. Stuff like that is something you should really take note of. If a guy's always watching one lane with a sniper, then you're starting to learn how he's playing. He's a lot more passive. Hit him with some axiom bolts, get him running, some type of grenade. If anyone that's rushing, be ready for them with shotguns. Don't have your primary out. If you're gonna round a corner indoors and the enemy team have shotguns, don't have your primary out. Switch to your shotgun because you're just stupid if you don't. Now you can take any of these tips and adopt them in the way you see fit for your own playstyle. These are just my ideas of what is important when trying to go flawless in Trials of Osiris. Trials of Osiris right now is in a very weird state with the community kind of split on it. Some people liking it, some people want change. I'm not entirely sure where I lean for that. I'm open to stuff, but for now, we keep playing for what it is. So I'd like to thank you for tuning into this first episode of Terra Tactics. Again, I'm gonna try keeping this. I'm gonna try saying this in every episode or bringing it up somehow. If you're already like a skilled player and you have your own play style, don't think that I'm making this to change your playstyle because I'm saying it's the best. It's not. I'm just saying this is my way of playing, and if you play your way and you're still really good, then you do you. Amazing, you know, play it your way. That's what Destiny is. So hopefully you learn something new. Maybe you'll, you know, learn a few little tricks here. You know, definitely, but stick to all the pointers, stick to all the tips, stick to all the bullet points that I made. And I'd like to thank you for tuning into the first episode of Terra Tactics, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.
No chill, no chill, no chill, no chill for real. No chill, no chill, no chill, no chill for real.